4 minutes to the gentlelady from Florida, the sponsor of this bill, Ms. Frankel.
Without objection, the gentlewoman is recognized.
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I'm very, very proud to rise today in support of this game-changing, historic bill, the Speak Out Act, with thanks to our Senate and House speakers and to Representative Buck, Bustos in the House, Gillibrand and Blackburn, of course, our Judiciary Committee, our staff, my staffer, Becker Flickier, and most especially to two very, very courageous women who may be with us today, Gretchen Carlson and Julia Roginski, who against all odds fought back against the abuse of powerful men and a powerful corporation, and who have lifted the voices of women by leading efforts to stem the scourge of sexual harassment and assault in the workplace and civic society. Thank you to Gretchen and Julie. Today, Madam Speaker, we'll pass legislation in tandem with the no arbitration law, which is aimed at stopping sexual abuse at the workplace and holding abusers accountable. And with all due respect to my friends on the other side, we're here to protect women from being raped, not states from being raped. Current and federal law in most states allow employers and others to force non-disclosure agreements into employment and consumer contracts that silence survivors of sexual assault and harassment. These are known as forced NDAs, and 1/3 of our workforce is subject to them. And Madam Speaker, I have an example of one right here. For a layperson to look, I will just tell you, it's a bunch of gobbledygook. And nowhere would you know from reading this NDA, which is very typical, that it means if your boss rapes you, you can't tell a soul about it or you'll be penalized. And businesses are using these NDAs to cover up their dirty little secrets of sexual abuse that force survivors to bear the trauma in silence. So it's not bad enough, Madam Speaker, that a survivor is humiliated, emotionally scarred, or physically hurt, that they have to quit their job or turn down promotion or leave the field entirely. If they are forced to sign an NDA before a dispute arises, they must suffer in silence and not even be able to tell a spouse, a parent, or a coworker. And if they do, they can be fired or disciplined or sued for damages and attorney's fees. That is crazy and that is unjust. The forced NDA punishes the survivor and protects the perpetrator, who is set to abuse and abuse and abuse again. So today we hold abusers accountable and change the culture of the workplace. Employers who are used to sweeping these stories under the rug will now be forced to stop toxic workplaces and sexual assault before it happens. And this should lead to safer, more productive workplaces and a civic society for all. And the change couldn't come soon enough. It's not just the movie and the TV personalities we've read about that have been the victims of sexual abuse in the workplace. 1 in 3 women, disproportionately women of color, have suffered sexual harassment in the workplace. There are 71 million women in the workplace. That's million and million of women who have to endure this. And listen, our bipartisan women's caucus, we heard story after story. Maids, hotel maids, raped by guests, waitresses pinched by their customers to earn tips, farm workers assaulted in the field by their supervisors, a tech worker forced to date potential customers. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you're a hotel maid, a farm worker, a secretary, CEO. People in all walks of life are being inappropriately touched, raped, harassed by supervisors, coworkers, customers, and service providers. And the Speak Out Act, Madam Speaker, will make these forced NDAs null and void. But I do want to add,
I yield the gentlelady an extra 30 seconds.
Thank you. It does not prevent a business from protecting its trade secret, and it does not prevent giving the survivors an option to sign an NDA at a post-claim settlement if they choose. So, folks, let's all say no to the dirty little secrets that promote sexual abuse, ruin lives, and degrade businesses. I urge my colleagues, Democrat and Republicans alike, to vote yes on the Speak Out Act. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I yield back.